Welcome back. Well, if there's anything we have a lot of in the Lowcountry, it's wildlife. But there's some things you need to know about interacting with that wildlife. Maria Sowden sat down with the Mermaid of Hilton Head to give us those rules.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Nina. She's the co-founder of the Mermaid of Hilton Head. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So we've talked previously about dolphins and wildlife etiquette and how we should be careful about them. And today we're going to talk about wildlife etiquette for sand dollars. So a lot of people don't realize that there's actually a rule about sand dollars on the island as well. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so sand dollars, I think people when they're on the beach and they see a sand dollar, they get super excited because they think of it as a seashell,
right?
Which it is not. Sand dollars are actually living creatures, which a lot of people don't know, which is why it's illegal to take them. So our sand dollar population has been depleted over the past probably 2 to 3 decades, and it's becoming actually a really big problem, which is why it's against the law to take them. But sand dollars are actually, they're echinoderms, which is they're related to sea urchins and starfish. So their job, they're like the ocean Roombas, where they go across the ocean floor and they filter all the bad stuff or all the stuff you don't want in the ocean.
Right.
And they kind of just clean it up. So they are important to our ecosystem, which is why it's important to try to restore our population as quickly as possible.
Right.
So one of the things to look for when you're on the beach, if you see a sand dollar, to make sure that it's dead before you take it.
Right, and how can we do that?
So the best way you can tell if it's alive or dead is, or the easiest way, I guess, is by color. When they're dead, they're white.
Right.
And when they're alive, they're darker in color. So
Right.
the other way that you can tell is if you flip it over and you look at the underside, the living ones, which are darker in color, have the tiny hairs all over them.
Right.
And these hairs actually move, which is pretty cool to see. So that's how they get their food from the outside of their body to their mouth, which is in the center.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool to see.
The same as the Roomba.
Right, same as the Roomba, right.
Okay.
And then the dead ones are white and they're smooth. So if you're on the beach and you find a white and smooth sand dollar, it's okay to take.
Okay.
But if you see one and it has hairs on it and it's darker in color, then leave it in the ocean.
Leave it there. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And then there's one more animal we're going to talk about today, which a lot of people don't know they're here. And when I first moved here, you saw it. I was so excited to see one for the first time. I had never seen one. And those are manatees.
Yes.
They're the cutest little things. They're called sea cows. Oh my gosh, tell us about them.
So yeah, manatees are pretty cute, and that actually creates a lot of problems for them because people, when they see manatees, they want to get close to manatees because they're smushy and
They're so
cute and adorable.
They're huge. They're oh my gosh.
But if you're on a boat, you need to not get close to manatees because they're super slow, slow swimmers.
Yeah.
They can pick up speed if they need to, but they don't typically do that. Right. So keeping away from them, they get a lot of propeller injuries. A lot of the manatees we have here, you'll see scars on them. So keeping away from them in boats is important. Another way you can help protect our manatees is if you're at a marina, like this one, a lot of people, they'll leave hoses running and the manatees will come in because they hear that water and they love fresh water.
Right.
And they get enough hydration from the food that they eat. They don't need fresh water. The freshwater hoses at the marinas actually encourage them to come into the marinas, which makes them associate more with boat traffic. So it's best just to make sure that all the water is turned off. If you see a manatee, ignore it as hard as it is because I know they're super cute. But that's super important, and it is against the Marine Mammal Protection Act as well to approach them or feed them or touch them.
Right, so same as dolphins. If you see them in the water, observe from a distance because unlike dolphins who can swim super fast, manatees cannot move that fast in the water.
Not at all.
So they can get injured very easily. All right, and last but not least, we're going to talk about alligators.
Yeah, so alligators are another species that we just need to leave alone.
Right.
A lot of people, they want to get the picture, so they try to get closer. And people feed the alligators. If alligators, a fed gator is a dead gator. So once you feed an alligator, they associate humans with food, and then they're more likely to attack humans because they're reptiles, so they're predators. They go for what they think is food.
Right.
They don't have a strategy. They don't have like a plan in the morning to go eat a human. They just, if they see a human and they identify it with food, that's what they're going to go after.
Right.
So it's really important to just leave everything alone.
Just leave them alone. Observe from a distance.
Yes.
Don't approach them. Don't feed them.
And it's also important to keep dogs and small children away from lagoons because that is an alligator-sized snack.
Right.
And then if the alligator attacks, then the alligator gets humanely euthanized, and it's just best to, for the gator, for the dog, for the kid, for you, keep everybody away from the lagoons.
Leave them alone.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, so you heard it from the expert. Sand dollars, leave them on the beach if they're alive. Manatees, be careful, don't feed them, don't give them fresh water, be careful when you're driving. And alligators, just leave them alone, don't feed them. All right, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's it for today. Let's head it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria, and thanks to everyone else who contributed to the show today. Thanks to my wardrobe sponsor, SM Bradford Company and Currents for today's look. Our production team is behind the scenes to make all of this possible, and of course, we are honored that you've chosen to share a part of your day with us. I'm Betsy McDaniel, and we'll see you next time for the WHHI-TV Daily News.